Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris. Today's video is about rose perfumes. Listen, rose perfumes do not need to be vintagey or smell like the past. I remember asking a friend why they didn't like rose perfumes, and they said, well, because it smells like my grandma. And somehow the association of rose perfumes and elderly women just stuck. And I am here to convince you that rose perfumes do not need to smell overly vintagey or powdery or like something from 50 years ago. I have rose perfumes. I have a rose perfume for everybody. As long as you like floral perfumes in general and you enjoy a nice bouquet of roses, I have got a rose perfume for everybody. In most of my videos, I try to have perfumes which cover all price ranges. I can't always do that, but in this one, I definitely have perfumes in the lower end and perfumes in the higher end. I would love to start with the perfume that I am loving, and it's very, very affordable. I got this for $19. I believe I got it on Joma Shop. I bought this blindly, and it was one of the best blind buys I've had in the past year. It is called Silky Rose, and this is for all the lovers of a fruity, a light, whimsical, joyful, youthful, fruity rose. So this has rose, lychee, and musk. It does remind me of a few different perfumes. This is not a dupe, I don't believe, but it reminds me of a sprinkling of different perfumes. It's equal parts, I would say it's equal parts Miss Dior Absolutely Blooming, Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, and a little bit of Lancôme Idole. If you mix all of those together, add a little bit of musk, you would come up with this perfume. There is something about it that's just so enjoyable to me. Now this does read spring and summer. I can assure you this will be one of my most reached fragrances in the warmer weather. This is going to be a grab and go, easy reach, everyday perfume. I absolutely love it, and longevity is good. I would say it's good. It's cold right now. It's not great in the freezing cold, and I mean literally freezing cold. This will be just fine in the warm weather. I'm loving that. This next one is not budget friendly, but it definitely was one of my best purchases of 2023. I bought it in November 2023, but it didn't get to me till the very end of December. It's from LK and it's called Letre de Pushkar. I discovered this when I did her discovery set, or the LK discovery set. I bought that back in the summer. One of the best discovery sets I have ever tried. I think there was like at least 12 different perfumes, and I loved or strongly liked all of them. I don't think there was a single one that I disliked, and that's tough because this is an expensive brand and I can't be buying 13, 14 bottles, so I will be slowly pacing myself. I do have two full bottles. My two favorites probably. This one and another one I'll talk about in another video, but this is a gorgeous, syrupy, ambery rose with some spices. It's got, it has saffron, but it doesn't have that typical rose oud, rose leather, rose patchouli scent profile. This is very sweet, very ambery, very syrupy. I would guess this has dates in it, but I don't think it does. I think that sweetness is coming from the amber, and it also has some baking spices. I want to say nutmeg. Not super prominent. This does not smell, this is not a gourmand rose perfume, but it is sweet. It's delicious, very unique. It has a little bit of woods, I want to say, in the dry down, but it's not too woody. I'm not a huge fan of these rose oud perfumes. I'm just over that. I was never really into them to begin with. This is not that type of perfume, and I don't have anything that smells a ton like this. It's very unique, absolutely gorgeous. Strongly recommend doing that discovery set because there are so many beautiful ones in that collection. Okay, so the next two I have are complete opposite rose perfumes. One is very youthful and whimsical. It reminds me of spring and summer. It's fruity, it's dewy and very floral, and it is called Little Flower by Regime de Fleurs. Chloe Sevigny, the actress, is behind the creation of this. I don't know if she actually wears it, but she was involved in this creation. This is a terrific, like, rose peony perfume. The rose in this is like fresh, dewy rose petals, like fresh rose petals from the garden that just dropped to the ground. Maybe they were just rained on. It has, I want to say it has like black currant and a little bit of pomelo. Definitely has that peony note in it, and a little bit of, I want to say, green tea. So just a very fresh, refreshing, dewy, youthful, springtime, summertime, fruity perfume that's really quite enjoyable. And if you thought that roses smelled old and outdated, try this one. You might love it. The next one is a very on the opposite end of the spectrum. This is not a youthful rose. This is a seductive, spicy, ambery, smoky, deep rose. This is Cairo. This is like equal parts rose, woods, and spices. Very, very exotic. So whereas the other rose perfume I talked about was very youthful, like a dewy rose, this rose, the rose in here, has been soaking in woods and spices. It has a little bit of saffron, but oh my gosh, this just smells so good. Not too leathery. It does have some sweetness in the dry down. It has a vanillic sweetness in the dry down, and definitely in the base, it has some patchouli. It's deep, it's rich, it's a little bit smoky, it's woody, and it definitely has the rose in this, I would say, is like a dark maroon, very velvety rose. Absolutely gorgeous. This is date night. This is going somewhere fancy. I've always thought that this is one of my fancier elevated rose perfumes, very elegant. Now the next one, I do not know where I was for like 2 years. I never smelled this when it first came out, and I didn't go and smell it. I didn't try it until my friend Marcy did a video on her most complimented perfumes, and in her video, she said she has never been complimented more than she was with this perfume. She's actually gotten marriage requests, and I thought, I actually love watching other people's videos about compliments because I love the stories. I love the stories that they tell. I just think it's fun. After hearing Marcy's story about getting a marriage proposal, I thought, boy, I should go check out this amazing perfume. And it is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. The reason why I never checked it out is because when it first came out, there was another content creator, I will not mention her name, who said it was terrible. She said, Chris, it's terrible, don't smell it. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I just never did. So I have been missing out, let me tell you, because I love this perfume. This is a syrupy, sweet, ambery rose, kind of like Lettre de Pushkar. Now, they're not the same, but they are in that same sweet, syrupy rose with amber and spices. I've been really good about not buying the full bottle because I have this really nice travel spray. I actually take this in my backpack, and I thought I'm gonna make myself use up this travel spray before I buy the full bottle, which I probably will in the next Sephora sale. Oh, I just sneezed, but it smells really good in here. This is my second video, but this is just an intoxicatingly delicious ambery rose. Again, it has a syrupy sweet rose. The closest thing that I can think of to this would be Oud Satin Mood minus the oud, and then add a little bit of pink pepper. Then you would get something really, really close to this perfume. It's not the absolute beast monster that Oud Satin Mood is, but it's a really beautiful perfume with good performance. So the next perfume has a funny story behind it. I first heard about this perfume from Demi Rawling before I even started my channel. This was like her go-to perfume. She loved it, and I got a sample and fell in love with it. It's Gre Dior. I mean, this could definitely be a signature scent for me. This is a no-brainer perfume. I could wear this in any situation. It's just classy, elegant. And the funny thing is, this is a compliment getter. I will wear this to work. The compliments that I get are typically from, well, I get them from all over the place, but I have had a couple of really young people, I'm talking teenagers, early 20s, track me down to find out what I was wearing because they followed my sillage from this perfume right here. So this is I can see why some people might think that this is a vintage or an old smelling rose because it is a sheep, and sheep perfumes were very big back in the 80s, which to many people that is vintagey. It definitely is a sheep, so it is a sheep perfume, but it has a very modern edge. So it's rose, patchouli, it's very bright, it's poppy, it's effervescent and bubbly in the top, and it has oak moss in the bottom, so in the base. I could definitely wear this every day. If somebody said, Chris, the only perfume you could wear for the rest of your life is Gre Dior, I mean, I could do it. I would say, fine, I'm gonna be smelling good, and I do love this perfume. I am really zipping along. Now, no rose perfume video would be complete without mentioning the sisters. We all know the Delina sisters. Now, I talk about the Delina sisters all the time, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about them. And I made the mistake of saying in one of my last videos that I was thinking of decluttering Delina. Oh my Lord, you should have seen the comments. I wore it that day. I was like, it was going to be my goodbye wearing of Delina, and I actually really enjoyed it. So Delina is still with me. But if you get this perfume, you do not need Delina or Delina exclusive. This next perfume I did show in my recent fantastic Middle Eastern pickups is Rose 01. This is like the best of both of those perfumes. So if you always wanted to get Delina exclusive, you didn't like the heavy vanilla in Delina exclusive, and the piercing rhubarb was too much in the original Delina, this is kind of the best of both worlds. This is a gorgeous perfume. I bought it blindly, another successful blind buys. My blind buys typically are not successful. This was a knock out of the park, but it's a little redundant. I don't need it because I have all of the Delina sisters, but it is so beautiful. I do not want to get rid of it. It lasts all day. This thing is nuclear and gorgeous, and I think the bottle's really, really pretty. So, and a fantastic pickup for someone on a budget who really loves that profile. Okay, the next one I talk about all the time. This one is my secret weapon. This is Man Voodoo. I don't know what's in it. There is something in it that just makes men swoon, go crazy. It is Atomic Rose. It would be in the family of Delina, but this to me is like Delina's older, sexier sister. So we don't have the rhubarb. It's ambery, it's spicy, it's vanillic, it's a little bit sweet. There's that hedione in here that must be the magic, because I have worked with the same people for over 10 years. A lot of my coworkers are men who never ask me what I'm wearing, and I wore this to like a work function, and I needed a ride to my car because we were like in a downtown. It was downtown Clayton. It's very safe, but there's no parking, and I parked way far away. So one of my coworkers said, I'll drive you to your car so you don't have to walk to it. I've been working with him for over 10 years. He's never asked me what perfume I was wearing. So right when I was about to get out of the car, he said, Chris, Debbie's birthday, that's his wife, Debbie's birthday is coming up, and I want to get her something nice, and I think she would love the perfume that you were wearing. Would you mind telling me? So I told him, I actually texted it to him. I told him where he could find it. He ended up getting his wife this for her birthday. I saw her like 3 months later at a work function. We were at Topgolf. She ran up to me, gave me the biggest hug, and thanked me for telling her husband about this. It was her very favorite perfume. So Atomic Rose is beautiful, and it's atomic. Let me tell you, it lasts forever. It's beautiful. Yeah, go easy, like 2 to 4 sprays. That's all you need. And the last one was quite the surprise. Now, it is from the House of Siage. Now, I have purchased 99% of the cupcakes myself for purposes of transparency. I'm going to tell you that I did get Wednesday in PR, and before I smelled it, I wasn't sure if I was going to like this perfume. I looked at the notes and it looked like a dark, kind of a gothy rose. Those typically are not very universally appealing. There was patchouli and pepper, and I thought, I like those notes, but other people might not like it. So I was really surprised when I got this perfume. What was even more shocking is when I wore it to work. Now, before I talk about perfumes, I always like to wear it at least 4 times. I don't know why. 4 is my magic number. It just is. And I've had this perfume for maybe close to 2 months. So this is not new to me. But I decided I was going to be brave. I needed to wear it to work. I needed another full day wear. I wasn't sure how it would go over, and I could not believe the compliments. A nurse that I work with actually said, Chris, you smell really, really good today. She said, well, you always smell good, but you really smell good today. And I don't remember her complimenting me on a perfume that I wore. And I said, really, Karen, why do you like it? And she said, it's really pretty. I can smell rose. It smells like a really pretty rose. So rose is clearly coming through. And to me, the rose is the star. So this is a fresh, dewy, I would call this like a fuchsia to pink, a pink fuchsia rose, very dewy, maybe with some drops of dew on it. Juxtapose that with some patchouli. Now the patchouli is definitely, I would say it's dry and it's earthy, but it doesn't smell like damp soil. It doesn't smell like concrete. It just has a nice, it's more woody than earthy, and has a little bit of pepper in here. So the notes sound scary. but they come together so well. And I think it's because the rose is the star and it's so fresh and dewy. So these juxtaposed notes, these notes that are kind of opposite to one another, really complement each other and make for a beautiful perfume. Tons of compliments that day. Picky Pat even liked it. And I said, "What, Pat, why do you like it?" And he said, "It's really nice." And he does not like all rose perfumes. He's one of those naughty people that thinks that a lot of rose perfumes smell like a grandma. I get on him when he says that. But he said, "It's really nice. It's really fresh. I like it." And this has been a very good seller for House of Sillage. They actually sold out of it. I think it just came back into stock. So a very good seller, a very good release from the House of Sillage with a very fun bottle. It's got like mother of pearl and abalone with the thing. I want to say this is the thing's hand. So Wednesday by House of Sillage, and that's it. I have a couple more, and I know I've left out a couple. I'm just going to keep it at that. I think that was around 10 perfumes. 10 perfumes that do not smell old or dated or vintagey. I'm telling you, if you're open to the idea of rose, I'm going to make a rose lover out of you with some of these perfumes that I love. If I didn't mention a rose perfume that you love in this video, let us know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time with me. And with that, I'd love to see you on the next one.